34. All right. Let's spark off with Matthew 10 and 34. Y'all rock with me. You know what I'm saying? You got your sword with you. Stay with a priest in these scriptures. And we're going to keep it pushing. All right. So let's get Matthew 10 and 34. All right. Let's see. All right, no sweat. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so let's get it. Matthew 10 and 34. Think not. Now this is Christ speaking right here. All right. Christ said, "Think not," meaning what? Don't think this. That I am come to send peace on earth. Meaning Christ wasn't sent here to bring peace on the earth. All right. So don't think that was the reason why Christ came. That's the reason why he was sent. Christ wasn't sent to cause peace on the earth. All right. Let's read on. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Right. So Christ is clearly stating here that he came not to send peace. Now, quite the contrary to what you would believe if you've been going to the Christian church. You would think that Christ is all love, hugs, and kisses. You know what I mean? And that he's all about peace and what have you. You know what I mean? But you have Christ saying out of his own mouth that he came not to send peace on the earth. All right? He came not to send peace, but now he's telling us, in fact, he did come to bring. All right? He said, I am not come to send peace, but a sword. What is a sword synonymous with? A sword is synonymous with war. You understand? War is the opposite of peace. All right? Christ came to bring war. Life is about warfare. What do you use a sword for? You use a sword to fight. You know what I mean? When you in the warfare, when you in the battle, you use a sword to fight. Christ said he did not come to send peace, but he came to bring a sword. All right? Let's keep that in mind. Let's keep it rolling. For I am come. So now, this is why he has come. This is the purpose for Christ in coming here on the earth. I am come to set a man at variance. What is variance? Variance is basically a disagreement. You know what I mean? Not harmony, but a disagreement. So Christ came to put in disagreement, all right, against Salakia. Let me run it back just a bit. For I am come to set a man at variance against his father. All right. So he came to set a man at variance, to put a man in disagreement with his father. Let's read on. And daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So Christ came to put the whole family structure at variance, to have them in disagreement. This disagreement, where does this disagreement stem from? The disagreement stems from the truth. You know what I mean? The brothers and sisters that come inside this truth and get it, and they're able to receive it, and now they know it, and they go and they teach it and they live it, and they become within, you know, your family that's in the world, your carnal family serve you, and they'll see, you know, that you don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster. You don't want to come around for the holidays. You don't celebrate nobody's birthday. You don't call and say, you know, happy birthday to anybody, because you don't celebrate these things. You know what I mean? And you say the reason why you don't do it is why. The reason why I don't, you know, celebrate Easter or the 4th of July is because why? Because I follow the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? I obey the Most High in Christ. That's why. And you over there, y'all celebrating bunnies, laying eggs, or what have you. You know what I mean? Y'all out here, you know, blaspheming against the Most High. You know what I mean? Talking about Christ, you know, whatever they saying. You know, Christ was born on December 25th, and all other uh, you know, all other you know, just flat out lies against the Most High in Christ. Yeah, you know what I mean? You checking them on that, and they looking at you, and they're incomplete. Y'all are in complete opposition. Why? Because number one, your mother, your father, you know what I mean? The daughter, the son, or what have you, mother-in-law, they will be in the world. There's gonna be brothers that's in the world. There's gonna be, uh, brothers that's in the truth and sisters that's in the truth. You understand? And not everybody's gonna be in here. Very rarely do I ever hear of an instance where, a brother or a sister, their whole family comes into the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a very rare occurrence. However, you know what I mean? It could happen, but for the most part, you know what I mean? That's not the case. What is the case is that when you come into the truth, you're going to be at odds with your family. You understand? But let's read on. 36. And a man's foes shall be they of his own household. What are foes? Foes are enemies. You understand why they're your enemies? Because they're enemy to the Most High. You understand that? Because, anybody that doesn't want to obey the Most High is an enemy to the Most High. You know what I mean? Or Christ. That's why Christ said, what's the scripture? I'll always be paraphrasing this joint. He said, if they would not serve me, you know what I mean, bring them hither and slay them before me. You know what I mean? And if they don't want to obey Christ, Christ is ordering them to be, put to death. Why is he ordering that? Because they are enemy to him, because they don't want to obey his voice. All right? A man's foes shall be they of his own household. You know what I mean? It's going to be your rib. It's going to be, your head, meaning, your wife, your husband, or, you know what I'm saying, your daughter, your son, you know what I mean, your brother, your cousin, your mother, your father. All of these are going to be your enemies, all right? Your own household. Let's read on. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. All right? How do you love your father and your mother more than you love Christ? You know what I mean? By going there and you celebrating that 4th of July and getting out there and sliding through for the Easter Sunday or what have you. You know what I mean? Obeying their voice when they tell you to come through. You know what I mean? And not obeying Christ when he said not to be of this world. Not obeying the Most High when he said not to learn the way of the heathen. You know what I mean? Because the customs of the heathen are vain. You know what I mean? To have no other gods before me. You know what I mean? He's going to try to get you to get back up in that Christian church or that Muslim mosque. You know what I mean? You obey that voice. You go to that Christian church on a Sunday or what have you. You know, you're not worthy of Christ and the sacrifice that he made, you know what I mean? Which was him taking a death for the whole nation of Israel. You know what I mean? That we would be able to come back to the Most High and serve the Lord. You know what I mean? In absolute perfectness. You know what I mean? Christ being a brother that was without blemish, without spot, took the hit for the whole nation, took the death of a sinner. You know what I mean? Took the death that we was all supposed to take. You know what I mean? So if we can't honor that, if we can't honor that death by, not, celebrating bunnies laying eggs and, cracking out the grill for the 4th and shooting fireworks in the sky or what have you, you know what I mean? If that's of more importance to you than Christ dying, being crucified, dying the death of a sinner, being an innocent man, then, you know what I mean, you're not worthy of the king. You understand? You're not worthy to serve the king. You're not worthy of what comes with it. Like it's an absolute blessing to be able to come and serve the Most High. You know what I mean? This is something that's very cherishable. You know what I mean? Because listen, if it wasn't for Christ taking that hit, we wouldn't even have a connection. We wouldn't even have a bridge to communicate with the Most High or come back to the Most High. You know what I mean? We still be out here lost without the truth, without knowing that we the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, without knowing that, without knowing who the enemy really is. That's what we be caught up in. We be lost in that. If Christ didn't display such an ultimate display of brotherhood, you know what I mean? And taking the hit for the whole nation, man. You know what I mean? Let's read on. And he, let me read that one more time. He that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. So, the same thing parallels with your son and your daughter. You know what I mean? The same way your father and your mother, the essence of it is you being drawn back into the world. You know what I mean? If you can't take some puppy tears on Christmas and you like, man, and withstand your son or your daughter potentially hating you because you don't buy them a birthday present and you don't buy them anything for Christmas or what have you, and they feel like you depriving them of all the fun that they can have inside of this kingdom if you would just allow them to live in it. You know what I mean? If you would just come and live in it. If you would just come and you would go back to celebrating birthdays, and you would come back to celebrating Thanksgiving or what have you, and go back to, cracking out the grill on the 4th or what have you, and shooting fireworks. You know what I mean? Like, son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to have to be able to withstand that. You have to be able to withstand, you know what I mean, your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, you know what I mean, and reject them and their attempt to pull you back into the world and live the life of a sinner, you know what I mean, and dishonor what Christ died for. Like, that's how, we're not worthy of that. We're not worthy of the sacrifice Christ made. You know what I mean? That's why Christ said, you are not worthy of me. You know what I mean? If that is of more importance, then you are not worthy. Let's read on. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me is not worthy of me. And he that taketh his cross. Now, because of Christianity and the carnality that is intertwined in Christianity, you know what I mean? We read this and we think that this is actually talking about a cross, literally. You think this means put a cross in your neck, and now that's what Christ is telling you to do. When if you just get the context of what we was reading prior, you would see that this is not talking about a physical, a literal cross. You know what I mean? A piece of jewelry that you wear on your neck in remembrance of Christ, to commemorate Christ. That is not what Christ is talking about. When Christ is saying, he that, let me see. And he that taketh not his cross and followeth after me, right? And taketh his cross and follow after him. You know what I mean? Taking the cross is what? That's the burden. You know what I mean? That's your burden. And followeth after me. Christ, what he just said, it followeth after me. Taketh his cross and followeth after me. What Christ do? Christ kept the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments perfectly. You know what I mean? And we are to follow Christ in that same fashion. You know what I mean? The burden that is being discussed here is the lust that we have. The lust that you have to be pulled back into the world. You know what I mean? Whether it be through your wife, your husband, your mother, your father, your daughter, your son, or what have you. the lust and battling the lust that of going back into the world is what burdens you. You know what I mean? Furthermore, you know what I mean, as a priest in his work, you know what I mean, as a priest in his work, you know what I mean, if you know you ain't coming to camp, you don't want to come to camp or what have you. You know what I mean? That's your burden. You know what I mean? In camp, teaching a class, no matter how tired you are after your slavery or what have you. You know what I mean? If you a brother or a sister and you've been hearing this truth and you've been watching the brothers on YouTube and or what have you, or whatever other social media or platform that you've been observing the brothers on, you know what I mean, and you've been telling yourself, I'm gonna get to the class, I gotta get to the class, but man, I just can't make it after the class, you know what I'm saying, because when I get out to slavery, I just be so tired, you know what I mean. Well, you know what I mean, if you can't make it to the class, then you're not worthy of you know, the sacrifice. If you're not able to endure a little tiredness, you know what I mean, for the sake of receiving this truth and you know, for the sake of our King Christ, you know what I mean, then you are not worthy to receive what the blessing that the Lord is willing to bestow upon you. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, put that in on that. Let me see. Make sure. All right. Yeah, no sweat. All right, so we're going to drop that out. Matter of fact, let me pull this thing up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to just knock that down. Knock all that down right there. Boom. And let me see if I can split this thing up. Nah, probably not, but I could do this. You know what I mean? Y'all got any questions? Go ahead in the chat. You know what I mean? I'll get to them things, Lord allow. Here we are. All right. We got the tools up. Most High in Christ. So right now we just gonna keep it pushing. All right. No sweat. So with that being said, let's drop that in Matthew 10 in 34. All right, through 38, and let's go to Matthew 12 and 46. All right, let's go to Matthew 12 and 46. Okay. Let me see. Who was Christ checking here? Okay, no sweat. Checking and then all right, no sweat. So let's go to Matthew 12 and 46. All right. While he yet talked to the people. So now this is talking about Christ. Christ was talking. He was checking the scribes and the Pharisees. All right. He was checking the scribes and the Pharisees. You know what I mean, and how they, you know, with their lack of understanding of the scriptures. All right. He was checking them on that and simultaneously teaching the multitude, you know, that was with him, that was following him. All right. And in the midst of him doing that, it says, while he yet talked to the people, behold, his mother and his brethren stood without. So now look, meaning what? Meaning Christ's immediate family pulled up on the scene. All right. His blood relatives, you know what I mean, his mother and his brother, they pulled up. All right. Let's read on. Desiring to speak with him. So now they pulled up on the scene and to talk to Christ. All right. Then one said unto him, behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without. All right. Meaning what? They stand without. So somebody came to Christ and they said, behold, they tried to bring it to Christ and that his mother and his brother was standing without. And notice how it said that they were standing without. What did that mean? That means that they wasn't in this circle. They wasn't in Christ's circle. You know what I mean? Just like we have it today, where, you know, if you're not an officer or a trooper, when we go out to that camp, you are not allowed to come inside of the camp. You know what I mean? If you're a young man and you are interested and you want to get inside the camp, you are not allowed to come inside the camp. You know what I mean? You have to stand without, because you are not in the circle yet. You know what I mean? So you got to stand out the camp. You can come up in all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf, or what have you. You could come and you could stand outside the camp, but until you become a trooper, you are not allowed to come inside the camp. You know what I mean? So Christ was out there and he was dropping the truth, much like we go out and we drop the truth when we go to camp or what have you. You know what I mean? He rolling with his disciples, and you know what I mean? He checking the scribes and the Pharisees, and he teaching the multitude of people. You know what I mean? And you know, this is another example. This is another lesson. You know what I mean? The example that Christ displayed here is one that, you know what I mean, being a brother that is allowed inside him, you should take note of. You know what I mean? This is how you deal with family that come to you at the camp. All right? You know what I mean? When your family roll up on the song, it just happens sometimes. You know, sometimes brothers be out there and they have a family member that walk past or something like that. You know what I mean? Somebody's sister or brother or something like that. They roll through or whatever. But this is how you get it. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine you on the podium, and while you on the podium, you know what I mean, and you dropping the truth, and you know what I mean, you got the brother and he reading or what have you. In the middle, you dropping the truth on everybody. You in the middle of a battle, and you dropping the truth, you know, simultaneously. And in the midst of doing that, you know what I mean, your mother and your brother, they pull up on the scene while you at camp. This is the equivalent of what is happening here with Christ. All right, and this is how we should handle things in this fashion. All right, let's read this. All right. Where we at? All right, here we go. 48. But he answered. So this is Christ's response to the brother that brought it to his attention that his mother and his brother was desiring to speak with him. All right. Unto him, Chalagi. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my and who are my brethren? So now Christ is posing a question here. All right, but he's about to. Let's read on. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. You know what I mean? That's what Christ was explaining. You know what I mean? He was trying to let them. Wait, hold on. I think I skipped the part. No. I think I did skip Salakia. Bear with me 1 second. Salakia. Let me go back to 48. But he answered and said unto him that told him, who is my mother and who are my brethren? All right. No sweat. So now he posed the question. And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples. So now Christ is giving a physical demonstration. You know what I mean? So as he asked the question, he said, who my mother, who is my brother? You know what I mean? Then he puts forth his hands. You know what I mean? He's pointing to who? Toward his disciples, the brothers that was rolling with him in the work of the Lord. You know what I mean? And said, behold, my mother and my brother. You know what I mean? So he pointed to the disciples, and he said, oh, meaning, look, my mother and my brethren, meaning this is who's my mother and who my brother are. No sweat. So let's read on. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven. For whosoever shall do the will of his Father, which is in heaven. Now take note. Now this is a spiritual separation. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yes, that was Christ's mother and his brother, you know what I mean, carnally, however, of the flesh. But now is a difference here that's being explained. All right. He said, for whosoever shall do the will of my Father. Now Christ is saying, you know, the Most High is his Father. All right. Just in heaven, the same is my brother and the same is my mother. Meaning what? Meaning for whosoever shall do the will of my Father. What is the will of the Most High? The will of the Most High is to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? That's the Most High's will. You know what I mean? To refrain, to you know, live how the Most High called you to live in a place where, in a society where, you know, it's meaningless. You know what I mean? Like, no one cares about eating crab, shrimp, or lobster. You know what I mean? It's looked at like, you know, when talking about why are we even talking about eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster? You know what I mean? Is that something so major that we talking about here? You know what I mean? When yes, it is something that's that major. You know what I mean? A mother and her sons. I forget. I think it was a mother and her 7 mistaken. You know what I mean? Rather than eat pork, they walked into the fire. You understand? They walked into fire versus eating pork. That's how serious it is. And you know what I mean? That's how serious. That's how you know the heathens know it's serious. Because that's how bad they want you to eat that pork. They want you to eat pork. They'll let you go if you eat some pork. You know, either you walk into this fiery flame, or you suffer just all man. There's a cruelty that I can devise in my head. You know what I mean? And die a death. You know what I mean? By my hand. Or you can eat this pork and you can live. You understand? Like that's what it was in the Maccabees. You know what I mean? But that's how you know eating pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster is that important. You know what I mean? It is that important. But in this society, it doesn't seem like it is that important. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem like it's that important. But it really is. You know what I mean? It's a very important. You know what I mean? And it's the reason why it's so important is because for the heathen, the reason why it's important for that heathen to get you eat that pork, crab, shrimp, you know what I mean? Something that you think is so small is because the heathens know, meaning those whites, meaning those who are not so-called black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. You know what I mean? They know it's important, and the reason why they want to get you to eat that pork is because they know when you obey the Most High, they know now the Most High will not protect you. They know now that you are, what you call, they know that you're susceptible. You know what I mean? To be overtaken by them. You know what I mean? They know now it's able. If they want to conquer you, if they want to rule over you and enslave you now they can do it. You know what I mean? They can do it now because the Most High is not going to watch over you while you making pork chops every Sunday. You know what I mean? And eating shrimp scampi and whatever other abomination that come out that sea, man. You know what I mean? They know that I can destroy them now. Now I can enslave them because their God will not watch over them. You know what I mean? When we disobey the Most High is not going to be with us. You understand? And the heathens know it, and that's why they try to make us disobey the Most High. You know what I mean? But that's why Christ said, "For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother, sister, and mother." You know what I mean? Because those brothers, those sisters, they understand the importance of keeping the laws of the Most High. You know what I mean? They understand the importance of it. They understand that it means life or death. You know what I mean? The scriptures say fear is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I mean? What is wisdom? What is our wisdom? Our wisdom is keeping them laws, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? When you begin to have fear of the Most High and what He can do, you know what I mean? Now you can become wise. You know what I mean? You might wisen up a little bit when you see, you know, all the worldwide pandemic that the Most High has unleashed on the earth. You know what I mean? You might wisen up a little bit. You know what I mean? And you see what the Lord can do, and now you say, "Wow, man, let me really get solid right now," because you know, facing this pack of Newports, this could mean life or death. You know what I mean? I know the Lord don't want me blazing these Newports. This could mean life or death. You know what I mean? And that's how you know the Lord is so righteous, though. You know what I mean? Like because get it. You know what I mean? You could definitely get it. Like once again, smoking, period, it diminishes your lung capacity, and the COVID-19 is a respiratory. This is a respiratory virus. This is a respiratory disease, or what have you. Whatever the exact terminology for it. I ain't no goddamn, doctor or what have you. You know what I mean? But the COVID-19 is attacking your respiratory. That's why they ask you be having, like, if you roll in onto a slavery or something like that, they'll ask you if you having difficulty breathing or anything like that. You know what I mean? You having trouble breathing or you know what I mean, or whatever. Why? Because it attacks your respiratory. Now you're diminishing your respiratory even further, and you're making yourself more susceptible to contract the disease or be more affected by it. You understand? Like, that's how righteous the Most High is. But you look at it and you say, well, dang, now I see the Most High ain't playing about this. You understand? I see the Lord is very serious. You know what I mean? The Lord is very serious. Fear is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I mean? Like, definitely. You know what I mean? And them brothers and sisters that follow the Most High, you know what I mean, that obey what said to do. Them brothers and sisters are precious. I mean, in a time when no one gives a dang what the Lord say. You know what I mean? And those brothers and those sisters are considered family. You know what I mean? That's your family. You know what I mean? Why? Because they obey the Lord, and the Most High is your Father. You know what I mean? And we are all children of the Most High. You know what I mean? But the scriptures say in Romans 8:11, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's Romans 8:11 or Romans 8:14. It say, matter of fact, let me go there real quick so I can get that right fast. Romans 8:14. For as many as are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. You know what I mean? You led by the Spirit of the Most High. You considered a son of the Most High. You know what I mean? We are all brothers and sisters in Christ. You know what I mean? We are all brothers and sisters in the Most High. You know what I mean? And it's such a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing to come together to such a capacity, because, you know what I mean? Like, you look at anytime, so-called he comes together in the world, it's always this one talking about that one. You know what I mean? Someone speaking evil of someone else. Somebody's going to get into a heated argument and disagreement. You know what I mean? And it's going to be ruined. Somebody's going to sell out your house. You know what I mean? You're going to, all manners of things are going to happen. Why? And they're going to be things that cause division. You know what I mean? Like, and you're not unified. You understand? There's nothing there that's keeping you together other than, your carnal bond, your bond in carnality, just you just being blood relatives. That's the reason why, families ain't even tight no more like they are, like they used to be. You know what I mean? Like the family dynamic has been absolutely destroyed. You know what I mean? But when it comes to the Most High, it's deeper than just a physical bond. Yes, we are, know what I'm saying, flesh, and blood, you know what I mean? Because we are of the same nation. You know what I mean? However, that's one criteria, but the second aspect of it, that's what joins us and keeps us perfectly unified in brotherhood. And sisterhood. That's what keeps us perfectly unified. You know why? Because it's against the Lord to backbite. So that this brother right here, he ain't never going to talk about me behind my back. I know this sister right here, she'll never talk about me behind my back. When we come together and we come to function or what have you, you know what I mean? It's not going to be, any gossip going on. Like little broads, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be gossiping like females. You understand? I could leave my wallet. I could drop my wallet, drop my phone. A brother dropped his phone in another brother's car when we was out there in Pennsylvania. You know what I mean? At the slaughtering of the lambs. Did the brother steal the phone? Did he take the phone? Is he a thief? No. Why is he not a thief? You know what I mean? Because the Most High said, thou shalt not steal. You know what I mean? And because the brother keep that, I can go around this brother, drop my wallet, my social security card or whatever have you, and don't have to worry about it being stolen. In fact, if I do drop it, I know that it will be returned to me. You know what I mean? I could drop $100 on the ground and no one will steal it. Why? Because we obey the Most High. You know what I mean? That's real brotherhood and real sisterhood, to have somebody that'll never steal from you. You understand? Somebody that'll never lie to you. You understand? Like, listen, like so many relationships are destroyed because of lies. But here now, we'll never lie to each other. Ever. You understand? That's how we move. You know what I mean? And that's why we are so tight. You understand? We are tight like that because we roll the same exact way. You know what I mean? Like when you have your own ideology. The most you can do is come to an agreement on major things. You know what I mean? Let's say, if we get bagged, and never rat on me. Even that's not upheld. You understand? That's not upheld. Even all thing is not upheld. You understand? But you just come to certain things. You know what I mean? You could listen, man. You can have a brother, go pick your rib up, drop off at the crib, and not have to worry about that brother trying to spit game at your shorty so he can get in the draws. You know what I mean? Like I think it was in Philly, you know what I mean? Me and another brother, we were ordered to go pick up one of the captain's ribs, you know what I mean? And there's none of that. You understand? It's none of that. Because you're away, I'm not going to make attempts on your broad. You know what I mean? Why? Is it because, you say so, I say so? No, it's not. You know why it is? It's because I do the will of the Father. We do the will of the Father. That's why. We do the will of the Father that is in heaven. The Most High. You understand? And the Most High said what? Thou shalt not commit adultery. You understand? What is adultery? You know what I mean? I know brothers and sisters might know, but there's probably brothers and sisters that don't. What is adultery? Adultery is when a man sleeps with another man's woman, or when a woman that has a husband sleeps with another man other than her husband. You understand? You don't have to worry about that. But now, you get locked up. Let's say you in the world and you get locked up. And you doing a little time. You know what I mean? You doing a little time up in there. And you know, your your BMs, she gonna smash on your right hand man. And your right hand is going to smash on your BMs. And you're going to come out of there and you're going to feel betrayed. You know what I mean? To somebody that you once called your brother. You understand? And you'll realize that he was never your brother, because all along he would do this thing to me. You know what I mean? He would do this to me. And how is this my brother? Somebody that would do that to you cannot be considered family. You know what I mean? Your cousin, your brother, they'll go into it. They'll go in to your shorty, man, while you locked up in a way and you're sitting in a hole somewhere. You know what I mean? Feeling horrible and depressed. You know what I mean? And whatever else. And thinking all men is evil about everything, because nobody's sending you a kite. Nobody's, sending cans or anything. And you feeling depressed, and meanwhile, you sitting in there, you rotting in a hole. You know what I mean? Your brother, your cousin on the outside, they go into your rib to destroy you even further while you in there. You know what I mean? Knowing that there's brothers that go in the prison system and they hang themselves while they in there. They kill themselves. You know what I mean? Knowing, dang, I could, if he finds out about this, he might could kill himself in there. But he doesn't care, though. You know what I mean? Because, you know what? He doesn't, he listens to American society. You know what I mean? You're not, that ain't really your broad. You know what I'm saying? Unless you married, it's not cheating. You know what I mean? Unless you married, it ain't cheating, because you of the world. They do the will of, listen. That's why the scriptures say, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye shall do. You know what I mean? You are the son of Satan. You know what I mean? Because you do Satan's will. You know what I mean? However, these brothers and sisters up in here, man, they something solid. You know what I mean? Something wonderful, an absolute treasure before the Most High. You know what I mean? And, anybody that come in his truth, they'll definitely tell you, man, and they and sisters like this. You know what I mean? You could be a cat that was in the world and you didn't trust a soul. You wouldn't trust anybody. You wouldn't speak to anybody. You know what I mean? You kept distance. You were suspect. Everybody was suspect. You know what I mean? You come up in here and you could come like that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But eventually you gonna let your guard down just a little bit. You understand? You're gonna let it down just a little bit, just enough. You know what I'm saying? To peek out and see what's going on. You know what I mean? Because it's really that what do you call it? Oh man, it's just that remarkable. But let me see if we got any more on that. Where was we at? Matthew 12 and 46. For whosoever 12 and 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother. You understand? So, with that, let's drop that and let's go to to John 15, and we'll start at verse 18. Let's go John 15 and 18. All right. John 15 and 18. Okay, let me see. Don't. All right. John 15 and 18. Okay. Where we at with it? What it look like? All right. No sweat. So let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. Alright. 15 and 18. So lucky, y'all. Boom, 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 boom. Here we go. Yes. Okay. I kind of think I want to read up a little bit. But nah, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. We gonna get straight to 18, all right? Matthew chapter 15, verse 8. Slack not Matthew. John chapter 15 and verse 18. All right. So now, this is Christ, and he talking to his disciples. All right. That's who's speaking right now. All right. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated Salakia. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. So Christ, he rapping with the disciples, and he letting them know. He's saying, if the world hate you, know that it hated me before it hated you. All right. If ye were of the world would love his own. You know what I mean? If you was a Christian, the world would love you, because most of the world is Christian. You understand? If you was a Muslim, the world would love you. Why? Because most of the world is Muslim. You know what I mean? If you said that, if you accepted the fact that pork was the other, you know what I mean? This kingdom would accept you, and that homosexuality is an alternative lifestyle. This world would accept you. You know what I mean? They would embrace you with open arms. You would march down the street together and hold up picket signs, and everybody would enjoy you and love you and respect you and appreciate you. You know what I mean? If you believed in Martin's dream, and you believed in racial diversities and cultures, coming together and integrating, this world would love you. You know what I mean? If you was pro interracial relationships, interracial sex, marriage, what have you, you know what I mean? This kingdom would love you. This world would love you. Why? Because that's what this world is about. This world is all about that. If you a sister and you pro-abortion, you know what I mean? You believe that you should have reproductive rights. You know what I mean? This world would love you. You know what I mean? If you celebrated Easter, you know what I mean? You went and bought all the little egg candies, and you know what I mean? You painted eggs, and you did your thing for Easter. You know what I mean? This world would love you, man. You know what I mean? They would really love everything about you and what you do. You know what I mean? Let's read on. If ye were of the world would love his own. You know what I mean? The world would love his own. All right? But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. You know what I mean? Because you are not of the world. You understand? You're not of the world, but we've been chosen to come out of the world. That's why it hates us. That's why the LGBT, they hate you. Because we show that God is against homosexuality. You know what I mean? And that in fact, homosexuality was a death penalty offense in the nation of Israel. You know what I mean? And God doesn't love them. God doesn't love the sinner and hate the sin. But in fact, the Most High hates both of them. You know what I mean? Now all the Christians hate us. And we teach that, you know, Christ, we don't bow down to the image of Caesar Borgia. You know what I mean? We don't bow down to that image of worship that Caesar Borgia or that rock in Mecca. You understand? And because of that, Christians hate us, and Muslims hate us, and they want to kill us on the corners or what have you. You know what I mean? Because we say that a man could have more than one wife. You know what I'm saying? Sisters that have conformed to this society, this world, and believe in monogamy, which derives from the Greco-Roman Empire, and is a practice of the heathens. Because they've conformed to that, they hate you when you say that a man could have more than one wife. You understand? Everybody hates you. Why? Because we are not of this world. We're not of this world. You know what I mean? We don't eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster. You know what I mean? We have a standard as to what we put in our mouth and what you put your rod in. You understand? There's a standard that we have set that we keep. You understand? And that's why everyone hates us. You know what I mean? We don't love and kiss the butt cheeks of our oppressor. You know what I mean? We don't love our enemy. We speak against him. We call him the devil that the Bible speaks of. And because we call him the devil that the Bible speaks of, everybody in their mind, everybody loses their goddamn mind. You know what I mean? Because those that love the oppressor and his butt cheeks, they lose their goddamn mind. And the oppressor, he loses his goddamn mind. And they hate you. They hate you for it. You know what I mean? Because we are not of this world. The average Negro is going to love and hug and kiss you. You know what I mean? And accept your apology or what have you. We will not. And try to find a peaceable solution that we can come to, so that way we can all coexist peacefully. You know what I mean? Not us. That's not how we do. You know what I mean? We are not of the world. You know what I mean? Let's read on. If you were of the world will love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. All right, let's read on. Let's go on to 20 now. Remember the word that I said unto you. So now Christ is saying, commit this to your memory. Remember this thing that that he said. The servant is not greater than the Lord. You know what I mean? The servant is not greater than the Lord. That's a given. You know what I mean? The man that tells you what to do, the man that does what a man tells him to do, is not greater than that man. You understand? You know what I mean? Let's read on. Now, why is Christ saying this? If they have persecuted me, right? If they have persecuted me, meaning what? Meaning they crucified Christ. You know what I mean? They crucified Christ being an innocent man. You know what I mean? Every time Christ was on the scene, the scribes and the Pharisees coming through trying to entrap him and find a way that they could accuse him and kill him. You understand? Like, they persecute Christ. They persecuted Christ. You know what I mean? The whole time he was on the scene. was being persecuted. Up until the very end when they crucified him. You know what I mean? They will also persecute you. That's why he's saying the servant is not greater than his master. You know what I mean? They persecuted Christ. And, you know what I mean? And because he was persecuted, you will also be persecuted. You know what I mean? Meaning what? Meaning, you know, you're going to have to come into the truth and you will have to deal with your family saying that you're in a cult. You understand? They're going to talk about you and they're going to say you're in a cult and they're going to try to, you know, demonize you. Make you seem like you're the devil. You know what I mean? They're going to try to make it seem like you're the evil one. And, you know, now you on some vowed, you know, you on a whole twisted lane that you in. You know what I'm saying? When you was a drug dealer, it was okay. You know what I mean? Nobody wants you to come around now that you on that wild Hebrew Israelite stuff. You know what I mean? This sister, she's in a cult. You know what I mean? I don't want this woman at my house. I don't want her around my kids. You know what I mean? I don't want them around my kids. I want them to stay away from my kids. I'm teaching my kids that Hebrew Israelite demon garbage. You know what I mean? They don't want teaching that Hebrew Israelite demon garbage. But when you was lighting up a blunt in front of their child's face and you was coming through smelling like a whole pack of weed, it was all right. You could be around the kids. You understand? You could come around the kids when you was running around and you had the pistol on you and you was gangbanging and it was okay. You know what I mean? However, you know what I mean? Now that you a Hebrew Israelite, you don't eat no pork, crab, shrimp, or lobster. You know what I mean? You don't go to church no more on Sundays. You know what I mean? You don't come to the Thanksgiving. Oh, this nigga is diabolical. Salakia. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? Salakia. But good night. You are the evil one now. Now you the evil one. They going to when you come into this truth, man. They going to talk about you. You know, it's like that. There's going to be great dissension. There's going to be great arguments that arise because you are now coming to the truth, and you're going to have to, you know, you're going to have to hold it down. You have to stand firm on what you believe and not get uprooted by these cats that's talking about you, man. You understand? When you don't get uprooted. That's why definitely you got to get deeply rooted inside of this truth. Make sure you come into them classes, man. Come to all the classes, online, in person. You know what I mean? Watch the Grill radio show. Get that across the line, and you know what I mean? All of that. You know what I mean? Stay locked in. Stay down. Stay buckled in. You know what I mean? They will also persecute you because they have persecuted me, Christ. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to persecute. That's why we go to camp, and every time we go to camp, there's always the police out there. Now we are well within our constitutional rights to be out on the street corners and conduct our religious practices. You know what I mean? To conduct our religious demonstrations. You know what I mean? We are well within our rights, our constitutional rights. Getting still, no matter how right we are in law, you know what I mean? There's going to be crooked police officers. It's going to be crooked police officers that come and infringe upon our civil rights. You know what I mean? Every camp in the summer, every single camp, they come in, they're not going to stop. You got to keep going down to the police station and filing complaints or what have you on the officers that violated, that infringed upon your civil rights, so on and so on. They persecuted Christ. It's all right. You know what I mean? We'll be all right. I mean, somebody's going to get like at the camp. You're going to tell them back up or what have you. You know what I mean? It might go down at camp one day. Who knows? You know what I mean? They might lock the priest up. The priest, you know what I mean? They might come through with a paddy wagon on the scene and swing the door open on you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's looking like. You know what I mean? They're gonna persecute us. This is to be expected. Why? Because they persecuted Christ, and Christ was there was nobody, there's nobody, and was nobody more righteous than Christ. You know what I mean? Let's read on. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. You know what I mean? Like, it's another thing too. Like, and to think that we shouldn't have to undergo these things, you know, is selfish. Like, how are we not going to, you know, undergo these same things that Christ went through? You know what I mean? Are we better than Yahweh Shai that we shouldn't have to go through these things? No, we're not better than Yahweh Shai. There is no way on earth we better than Yahweh Shai. You know what I mean? Nobody came and, you know, knowing this truth and, you know, lived it perfectly. You understand? But with that being said, let's go to the next joint. We're gonna keep it pushing. Alright. Let's go to Matthew 8, 19 and 22. Alright. Matthew 8, 19 and 22. No. Matthew 8, 19, 22. Where we at with it? Alright. Matthew 8, 19. And 22. Well, let's start at Salakia, not Matthew 19, Salakia. Matthew 8. I went to 19, Salakia. I was saying Matthew 8, 19 and 22 too. Matthew 8, 19. All right, here we go. Matthew chapter 8, verse 19. All right. And a certain scribe came and said unto him. So let me zoom. Might want to go up. All right, so this is the scribe, and he's talking to Christ. He's addressing Christ right now. All right, let's read it one more time. And a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whithersoever thou goest. All right, so now you got a scribe. He came up to Christ, and he's telling Christ, you know what I'm saying, wherever you go, I'm going to follow you there. All right, let's read. Let's read on. And Yahweh Shai, and what, you know what I'm saying, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Okay. And Yahweh Shai saith unto him. So now this is Christ's response to what he said as far as you know, him following Christ wherever he goes. All right. So now this is Christ's response. The foxes have holes. Salakia. The foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. You know what I mean? Meaning what? Meaning Christ kept it pushing. He was on the go. He was doing the work. You understand? He was constantly moving about. You understand? So Christ letting them know, like, you know what I mean? You trying to roll with me? You know, sweat. But listen, the foxes have holes. You know, birds, they have nests, but the Son of Man don't got no place to lay his head. You know what I mean? Because Christ just kept it pushing and always rolling on the scene. You know what I mean? He dropping the truth wherever he went. All right? And another of his disciples said unto him. So now, this is another disciple, and he addressing Christ now. Salakia. And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. So now, one of Christ's disciples came to him and said, all right, before we roll, you know what I'm saying, let me just go bury my father quick. All right? Let's read on. So he could give him the proper burial, honorable death, you know what I'm saying, the tender service or what have you. But Yahweh Shah said unto him, so now this is what Christ's response was to his disciple now. Follow me and let the dead bury the dead. You understand? Christ said, follow me. Now, so the disciple is requesting to go and bury his father. You understand? And Christ said to his disciple, what? He said, follow me and let the dead bury the dead. You understand? Like, that's Christ was hardcore, man. He was about this work. You know what I'm saying? That's how much of the truth, you know, that's how much he was about this truth. He was about this work. You know what I mean? That, you know, something like that couldn't conflict with the work. Like, let the dead bury the dead. We trying to, you know what I'm saying? Meaning, you have life, you alive, and we are trying to raise it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the mission. We out here trying to raise the dead. You know what I mean? That's why Christ was rolling around. He healing the sick. You know what I mean? He cleansing the lepers or what have you. He making the lame walk. You know what I mean? And he casting out devils out of everybody. You understand? Christ was doing the work, something wonderful. You know what I mean? And you know, that can't be postponed for something such as that. You know what I mean? When it comes to the truth is the top priority. You understand? You understand? The truth is the top priority over any task. You know what I mean? Or any other thing, the truth takes the top priority in any circumstance. All right? So, even in matters such as this, of such seriousness, you know what I mean? Now, let me see. Let's get another one like that. Let's go to Luke, the 9th chapter. All right? Go to Luke 9. Where we at with it? All right. All right. Luke 9. Okay. Luke 9 and start at verse 59. All right. Luke 9 and 59. All right. All right, no sweat. So, with that being said, let's go to Luke 9, 59. We're going to start at 59, all right? All right, Most High Christ. Luke 9. Luke chapter 9, verse 59. And he said unto another. Now, this is the same story. However, it's just a different account, all right, as the one we just read previously. All right. So I'm gonna drop down. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. It starts at what is it? 57. We're gonna start at 59. All right. And he said unto another, follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. All right. So we just read this, right? Yahweh Shah said unto him, let the dead bury the dead, but go out and preach the kingdom of God. You understand? So go out and preach the kingdom. You know what I mean? That's what Christ was instructing the disciples to do. You know what I mean? Over a task such as that. You know what I mean? That shows you how severe, how important this truth is. You know what I mean? Oftentimes this can be overlooked as something minuscule. You know what I mean? The work that we do inside of the UPK is something that's very minuscule and of little importance. You know what I mean? However, This is the most important thing that you can ever do in life. You understand? This is the most important thing. What is more important than obeying the creator of the goddamn, universe? You understand? Like, what's more important than that? Obeying your what you call your boss at the job. That's more important than obeying the Most High. You understand? That's more important. Obeying who are we gonna obey? You understand? What is more important than that? There's nothing more important. You know what I mean? Let me see real quick. What was I? Something to go preach the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Go and preach the kingdom. You know what I mean? That's what's important. That's why the scriptures say, by the foolishness of preaching. What does that say? Where is that? Let me pull that real quick, because it's the second part that I want to get. Let me see. By the foolishness of preaching. Okay. Bear with me one quick stat for y'all right there. Quick. Oh, preaching. If anybody know what that said, y'all can go ahead and drop that thing in there. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get it though. So I'm right here with it. Oh man, I might not got it. But if y'all got it, yeah, go ahead and throw that thing in there if y'all with it. Foolishness. Alright. Okay. Come on, where we at? Here we go. 1 Corinthians, right? 1 Corinthians 1:8. For the preaching of the... No, that wasn't it. Here we go. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 1:21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. You understand? It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. Like, there ain't nothing more important than that. You understand? Like, going out there and dropping that truth and teaching so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians their true identity, real heritage. You know what I mean? There's nothing more important than that, man, and how they can get out of the captivity that they currently under. You know what I mean? There's nothing more important than that. You know what I mean? Nothing more important than that. You know what I mean? And most of all, that's what pleased the Most High. You know what I mean? Like, who are you trying to please? Who is more important to please than the Most High? All right. But with that being said, let's read on though. All right. Yahweh said unto them, let the dead bury the dead. Oh, Salakia. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee. Right? So he said, I'm going to follow you. But, right? So now here's the ultimatum. Let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. You understand? So now this cat like, hold on, before I roll with you though, because he like, man, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see my family again. You understand? So before I roll with you though, I'm going to roll with you. But before I do, just let me go, you know what I mean? Let me go, holler at the peoples real quick and say, I'm going to be back or whatever, what have you, you know what I'm saying? Give my last farewells, I love you, and hugs and kisses, you know what I mean? And everybody, to everybody. And well, first let me go bid them farewell, which I at my home, which I at my house. And Yahweh said unto him, no man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God. Good night. You know what I mean? Meaning what? Meaning you the plow, you know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You know what I mean? Do the work. You know what I mean? No man putting his hand to the plow and look back is fit for the kingdom. You looking back. Like how we going forward, we doing the work. We can't be looking back and worrying about what's going on behind us, man. We gotta be forging ahead and going toward the mission and completing that mission, man. Forge ahead and complete the mission. That's our main focus. We got no time to be looking back. We got no time to be worrying about what's going on back at the house. Understand? So with that being said, let me see. I got that one in. All right. No sweat. Let's go to Romans 12 and 10. All right. I'm going to go to Romans 12 and 10 on top of that. All right. Go to Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Okay. No sweat. Romans chapter 12 and verse 10. Let me just do my quick little check right fast. See what it's looking like. You know what I mean? We do what it do. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Where we at with it? Okay, right here. No sweat. Smooth. Hey. Yeah, so we rocking. Zion the peace. No sweat. Long priest. Right. No sweat. What the heck is it? Good night. Alright. So with that being said, let's keep it pushing then. Alright. We looking smooth, everything rocking smoothly. So keep it pushing. Yeah, we coming right up on it. Coming right up on that timepiece. So let's ride up on that joint. Romans 12 and 10, alright? All right, here we go. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. You know what I mean? Honor and respect, preferring one another. Like, let me read that one time. It's like, be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. Like, you gotta prefer your brothers, man. You gotta prefer your sisters versus somebody that's in the world. Anybody in the world. Like, it's no greater feeling. Like, whenever the brothers and the sisters come together, you know what I mean, for a small second, we almost feel like we in the kingdom. You understand? And we taking that goddamn thing. You know what I mean? Like, we feel like we in the kingdom. Like, every time we come together. It's just that harmonious, that peaceful. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing whenever the brothers and sisters come together, man. You know what I mean? Like once again, when you come together, it's so much relief that is had. You have so much relief because all of the speculation that plagues your mind when you with a brother or a sister in the world is void. You know what I mean? Like, when you with somebody that's in the world, you understand, you know what I mean? When you with them, you know what I mean? You might not want to go too far with them. You understand? If y'all gonna kick it, you might just want to kick it in the crib or something like that. You understand? Because who knows what this cat is gonna do? You know what I mean? You don't know what he's going to do. He's unpredictable. He's lawless, what have you. Like, he probably spark a cigarette in the midst of the coronavirus. He'll light up a cigarette in front of your daughter, in front of your son, you know what I mean, or your grandmother, your elderly grandmother, and you know what I mean, put them at risk for catching the COVID-19 because they have an addiction to smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? They blowing that, knowing this thing, smoke is what really take you out the game as well. You know what I mean? So you really have no regard for anybody that's around you when you spark a cigarette. You understand? But That's the relief. Like you don't have to worry about this. You ain't got to worry about nobody sparking no blizz. You understand? You ain't got to worry about nobody having no illegal guns or drugs in the car while you rolling. So when you get pulled, if you know what I mean, you get pulled over by the boys, you like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I cat had that Flav on him. He had Flav and he got the bang on him. Good night. You understand? How this cat got Flav and the bang? He ain't say nothing to me. Now the boys pull up on the scene. Now I'm wrapped up in the mix. You understand? That's why I say you might not want to go too far with them. You understand? It's a terrible thing. You know what I mean? If you got, you know what I mean, any children, you definitely don't want them around your children, because now the thought be playing your mind is, you know, if the cat gonna molest your child. You understand? Because that's what you know, people in the world are capable of doing, because they don't have a moral standard. They don't have a moral compass that they abide by. You understand? And because they don't have that, they will rape somebody. They will molest somebody. They'll sleep with a little kid. You understand? They'll sleep with your wife. You understand? Like, it's horrible. I mean, like, we prefer one another, man. Like, we prefer to be with one another, because in unity, all of the chaos is extracted. You know what I mean? And it's perfect order. You know what I mean? It's absolute perfect order that we are in. You know what I mean? Perfect order. You know what I mean? Like, brothers is wonderful things, man. Brothers do wonderful things. You know what I mean? And because we brothers, we do wonderful things one for another, man. You know what I mean? We prefer to be with brothers like that, man. You understand? But with that being said, let's see. You know, cat called me the machine gun. I'm kind of slamming through these things. I ain't gonna hold you. Let me see. Might want to slow the roaster. You know what I mean? But nah, I mean, it is what it is. I can keep rolling. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no sweat. But so with that being said, just because I ain't trying to go to the head, that joint, finding that thing in Psalms is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna pull it right up on head real fast. So we're gonna drop that, and we'll go to Psalms 133 and 1. All right. Psalms 133 and 1. Let me see. Let's see. Where we at with it? Psalms 133 and 1. All right. Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. A song of degrees of David. All right. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You know what I mean? It's a pleasant thing for brothers to dwell together in unity, man. That's what I was just saying. It's a good and a pleasant thing for brothers to dwell in unity. Like, listen, if you've never been to the Passover, it's a life-changing experience. You know what I mean? If you've never been Passover or any of the high holy days where, you know, brothers and sisters come together from all over the globe, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we come together for that Passover, that feast of unleavened bread, or what have you, or the feast of Purim, and we all just kicking and chopping it up. It's a full thing to see, man. It's a wonderful thing to see a Simeonite brother and a Levite brother, meaning a Nican brother, and a Haitian brother, come together and be in the same room and drinking and chilling and, you know, whatever else, you know what I mean? Just having a good time or what have you, and no problems. You know what I mean? when them brothers and sisters, they are at odds in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that you have a Haitian and a Dominican come together. You know what I mean? And they are in peace and unity and harmonious. You know what I mean? That's not supposed to be the case. But when it's in the Lord, that is the case. You know what I mean? You get that and you see it, and it's like, man, this is a good thing right here. You know what I mean? You see Puerto Ricans and you see so-called Puerto Ricans and blacks, and they come together and they in the same place to be. You know what I mean? It ain't like, oh, what he talking about in that Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't like that, or, you know what I mean? Or he like, man, I don't like that stuff they be talking on. You know what I mean? It's none of that. You know what I mean? It's a wonderful thing, man. Judites and Ephraimites is coming together, and they, you know what I mean? They link real tight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, every time I get with Officer Kawalga, man, listen, it was a while back, chopping it up with Officer Kawalga, and I used to have the minute phone, and I'd be on a minute phone with Officer Kawalga, and I just say, yeah, well, I'm not about to have no more minutes. That's a lot. Yeah, you understand? Because I already know you just get on the phone with a brother, and you know what I'm saying? Before you even know it, it's like, good night. Hey, we already been on the phone for 2-3 hours, and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize it because it's that that's the type of brotherhood. That's how locked in we is with each other. You know what I mean? We all with each other. It's a lot. That's how locked in we are, and it's like that, man. You know what I mean? It's a pleasant thing, man. It's wonderful. Like, I mean, even I forgot the last thing when we went to New York. You know what I mean? I think it was Purim. We did Purim in New York. Brothers went to we kicked it. We sat there, we ate. The sisters cooked food. They brought the food in. Boom, brothers got in, they ate. You know what I mean? We got our drink on, brought the bottles through. You know what I'm saying? Later, brothers hit the club up or what have you. You know what I'm saying? And sisters in there. Brothers braiding other brothers' hair. You know what I mean? Off the strength. You know what I mean? Free of charge. Just to, you know what I'm saying? To get the brothers tight. It was solid, man. That's how it's supposed to be. That's supposed to be. I mean, that's One West. That's UPK. You know what I mean? And that's how we rock under the Most High.